right, so today, before I even start this video, I know that certain people are going to feel a certain way about it. You're gonna have a feeling about what I'm gonna share today because that's just how it works. When a person shares how they do business, you have other people that look at it and they analyze it and they make it be, what they want it to be in their own minds. And I'm okay with that. Everybody got an opinion. You can think whatever it is that you want to think. I get that. But I am going to share this with you because I think it's important that we understand, how different minds work as it pertains to business, right? So in my business, it's about setting prices, right? You have to be able to go in and set prices in the marketplace and get loads sold. If you can do that, you can be effective and you can win. If not, you're going to struggle, right? So we have going to a carrier to start to what people call negotiate load movement, right? After you have already gone to the shipper and you've given a shipper the price to move the load. So let's say, for example, you have a total of $2,000 in the load. You've gone to the shipper and you said, hey, I can get this load moved for $2,000. Well, now you have to take that load to a carrier, and the difference, what you sell that load to the carrier, the difference in that amount and the amount that you have that you went to the shipper with, that's going to be the total amount you make in the load. So for example, if you sell it to the carrier for $1,500, then if you have $2,000 in it, you'll make $500 on the load. That's basically how it works. Well, here's the deal. People talk about negotiation, right? But I don't look at it that way. I don't look at me going and negotiating with a carrier to say this is the amount that we're going to settle on the load, right? I think that's a part of the process. That's what we all go through. But I just don't look at it in the sense that I'm going to negotiate with the carrier. Because how I look at it is I'm taking a price to the carrier, and the carrier can decide whether or not he'll move the load for that price, right? And the price that I've gone to the carrier is where I can make a decent profit at, right? If I start negotiating, I'm negotiating into my own profits. So when I take a load, let's just say if I go to the spot market, to the load board with a load, I'm not taking that load there to negotiate it. I'm taking that load to sell it at a certain price. If, let's use that example of $2,000 again. Let's say I have $2,000 in the load. What you'll have some people do is they'll take that load to the load board at $1,500, right? Now, they are okay with selling that load at $1,700 or $1,800, but they'll go and they'll post it at $1,500 and they'll say, okay, I'll negotiate up to $1,700 or $1,800 and I'll make $200 or $300 on that load. Well, with me, it doesn't work that way. How I base it is I go to the shipper and I give them a price. Let's just say that's $2,000. When I go to the carrier, I'm going to the carrier and giving him a price and letting him decide whether that price works or not. If it doesn't, then I go and leave the load posted or go to somebody else and see if I can get it moved with someone else. Because I know I got set amount of dollars in the load. In order for me to make a profit, I'm going to be at a certain number. So I don't start out at $1,500. Let's say I was going to be at $1,700 on that load. I start out at $1,700. I post the load at $1,700, right? It's kind of like if you go to Walmart. You don't go to Walmart and start negotiating prices at Walmart. There's a price on the products, and you say, hey, I look at it, decide whether or not this is something that I want, and then I look at the price. If the price is, I say, okay, that's that provides me enough value for that price, then I go for it, right? But you don't go in and start negotiating with Walmart and telling them to drop their price, right? So that's the same way that I look at it when we're talking on the spot market, when we're talking the truck market. Period, regardless. I have gone to the shipper and I know where I am on price. I know exactly where I am on price. In order for me to make a profit, I have to sell it at X amount of dollars. So I'm going to that carrier with that number and giving him a choice to accept it or not accept it. See, because at the end of the day, the carrier didn't do anything when it comes down to going to a shipper and getting that load at whatever price. He didn't do anything as far as that is concerned. He has an asset. So I'm going to take him freight, profitable freight, at a certain number, and he can decide whether or not he wants it. That's just how it works. In the way that I look at it, when I start negotiating, that's what negotiating is to me. Taking a number that I know that I can get a load sold at and make money, and selling that load to the carrier. Period. And that's where it stops at. Not trying to start out at a certain number and then going up from there. No, I put in a solid number, and that's where I sell the load at. Now, anybody can say that. You know, a lot of people can come out here and talk about that, but what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to put a video right here, okay? And that video is going to break down what rates are, what my rates are, and what I'm going to carriers for in those lanes, what I'm selling loads to other carriers, right? Because it's easy to say that, but where is the proof of that? Well, I'm going to put it in this video, and you can see it for yourself. People have certain opinions about the rates that I'm at on some of those lanes. That's just how it goes. What people can always do is scrutinize you after you have gone to the shipper and offered a certain price. But they didn't do it themselves, so they just scrutinize your prices. I get it. I'm okay with that. Go for it. The bottom line is that either you can go direct to the shipper and set prices based on where you think the market is, or you can criticize somebody else that does. I'm cool with that. It's about being able to make money in this industry. You might not like how I do business, but the bottom line is I get a certain result, right? So how I look at it is, in order for me to make money in business, I have to do business in a way that makes money, right? And that's just how it goes. That's how I look at it. I know different people have different ways of looking at business, and I'm okay with that. I understand that. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. I certainly hope this information has been helpful. If you're interested in learning more about the freight broker business, I'll leave a free link in the description. It's my 5-video series, and I titled it How the Load Movement Process Works. It gives you a chance to come into the office with me, and you can watch me as I move loads, talk to shippers and carriers to give you a better understanding of how this business works before you come into it. And then if you're interested in learning about how much it costs to start your own freight broker business, I'll leave a free video right here. So until the next time, I wish you the very best in your life and business. See you at the top, because the bottom is much too crowded.